Hello everybody. Postcards on a wet Sunday. It sounds about right for an English holiday sometimes, doesn't it? What do we do when it's raining? We'll write all the postcards and send them home. So we're going to make some today. Okay, so what I've done, I've got hold of one of the older postcards that I did. And I'm going to have to try and explain what I've done to you today. So here you've got lots of I can get my finger up in between, so they're pleats in effect, yeah, all run down on a bit of fabric, and then they're stitched one way and forced stitched the other way to create a pleat, and then back again. Okay, so that was one I did many years ago. It's got all sorts of beads and things in the center, but what I've done today is a slightly different, possibly easier version. These ones were literally folds of fabric. I'll just explain this a bit more for you. Folds of fabric, all laid down, stitched across the base onto, I don't know, a piece of calico or whatever. All right, so you'd get like that, stitch the fray base, put the next one on, and then work your way down, okay, so that you've got lots of rows. And then force it one way than the other, and then I stitched in loads of beads before I put it to the cardboard, because that's actually got a postcard on the back of it, a plain postcard. But what I've done today, because it was more a case of what have I got in my stash. Okay, so recently I've been chopping up kits and things, and so I've had lots of these little bits left. Okay, and basically it's, if you imagine a bolt of fabric, it's the tiny little bit on the fold that, there you go, that's been left. Okay, so I thought, oh, can we utilize that? We'll see. So what I did first, and this is what we're aiming at, okay, so I got a hold of, obviously you use your colors, it will look totally different to mine, so get your cardboard, your innards, whatever you're using as your innards. Okay, and then what I did was I carefully folded that one over the top. Okay, I've got some pins here. Whoop. Right, okay, so, and do pin these, because I was being a smart ass earlier and I thought, it's all right, won't bother. All moved, had to unpick it, do it again. Do as I say, not as I do. So there we go, so we've got one side, and then I've put another one this side. Okay, so I'm getting them right the way into the folds there. All right, and then I'm pinning, if I can get hold of a pin. Right, so just in the center there to keep it. Okay, so that's sort of what I was trying to do, was cover the edges. I don't know if I should have bothered doing that or not, but it's what I did. Okay, so then I got one of my next ones that are a little bit whatever, and then I just laid that with the raw edge this side straight up. Now, two ways of doing this, I feel. You could now stitch that into place if you wanted to. I didn't, I just pinned it. You know me and my pins, I am a fan of pins. We like the pins, so we can put that one in there. And that's going to hold the orange now, so I'm just going to pull that one out and put it in there. You could get exceedingly precise about this. Get your rulers out and yeah, I didn't, but you could. Alright, so then I'll put another brown one that side. Alright, so put that like that. And then we get another pin. Look, I've got an elephant. He's a very pretty elephant. And he's got pins in his leg, poor little love. He's been jabbed several times. Right, there we go, so there's that. And then I put green ones on. And I'll be honest, I didn't bother about what size they were, I just used what I had. But up to you how you do that. Alright, so you could get more, tell me, more different colours, more stripes, that's the one that I'm trying to say. There we are. And I'm going to get another green one, and I'm going to put him this way. It's going to make it quite heavy and thick, but it should all be good. I'm just making sure that I'm catching all the layers there with these pins. Right, there's that and that and that and that. Now, what I did next. What did I do next? Next, see, I'm like that. Okay, so I've got lots of things flapping around the place. I use brown in the centre of mine. Is my iron on? Oh, throwing things on the floor here, folks. That wasn't supposed to happen. I just wanted to turn my little iron on so as I can just show you what I did. Says she, that's no good, that's no. I'm gonna have to pick up the one off the floor. Like that. There we go. Now, move my coffee over there. Okay, so what I did was I opened up one. There we are. I opened up one of the pieces, okay, and then I purposely folded in. I'll iron that in a moment. Folded in. He's a bit wide really, so do you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And so she's getting hold of her. There we go, let's just take a lump off of that. He's a bit wide really. There we are. Try that again. Right, okay. Right, so I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to fold that in there. So it's like you're turning a hem on both sides, making a channel, a bit like bias binding, all right, except we're on straighter grain, so it'll hold better. Okay, and then I just did give it a quick iron just to keep it where we want it. All right, doobie doobie doo. I do love little irons. Little irons are lovely things. Stop you having to get up and down all the time. There we are. So now hopefully what you can see is that's the back and that's the front. All right, so what I'm going to do is lay that across the center. Okay, I actually quite like him like that, even because you've got all these nice folded edges. I then put a row of fancy stitch straight down the center of this to hold it in place. Okay, I'm just going to get me me pins, put that in there, and it's not very straight, but you know what, it's okay, it will do, it's all good, isn't it? Right, there we are. So we're looking like that. Is that good? Now what I did was I stitched a row right across the center, okay, which actually held the green in place but not anything else, and that's fine. So maybe a fancy stitch, maybe a zigzag, maybe a bit of hand embroidery, bead, you could do all sorts, but hold that in place down there. And then just while I was messing about, I put a row of stitch at each end. Okay, can you see that at each end? I've got one here and one here, which held all the pieces whilst I then started messing about. Okay, so we're going to pretend that I've done that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move me pins up to the end here. Okay, so that's all technically held in place while I'm messing about. All right, and then you can see what we do next. Thomas is asleep on the top here today. He's been a naughty boy this week. Now Thomas, he's been out, I don't know if he's been hunting or fighting, but he's come in with a big scratch on his nose, which I sort of salt watered and did all you do to it, you know. And then he wasn't well for a couple of days, and I thought there's something else going on here, but I couldn't find it. And then yesterday I found his on his chest here, great big lump abscess. Obviously whatever he was playing with bit back. So he's had loads of arnica and it's all been washed out, and he's feeling a bit better today. He actually went out and he was running around, he wanted to fuss, so he's obviously feeling better. But yeah, bit of a worry, these here pussycats, aren't they? Right, okay, so now I've pinned across the ends as if I've stitched it, and I've got pins down the middle as if I've stitched that as well. All right, so now what I want to do is I just want to gently start with the green, and that, what we're going to do, can you see, is I'm going to turn this over. Well, you don't want to see what's underneath, so we want to go about there. Okay, so more pins, more pins, more pins, more pins. Okay, so that's that one. And then I'm going to turn the brown. The brown will turn more because there's a lot of yellow under it. Okay, so I've got 2 pleated in this way. I'm now going to do 2 pleated in the other way. Okay, so pleat, pin, pleat. Well, I'm folding it over, which causes the ruffle, the pleat, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. There'll probably be a technical name for this somewhere. There we go. Can you see that? So now we've got them all in the centre, nicely done. 2 that way, 2 that way, and it's giving you this lovely ruckle type stuff going on. Okay. I then machined across the centre. All right. So let me show you. That's as far as I've got with it, really. So I've done all the way down the centre. I've folded in and I've folded in, okay, and then I've machined across the centre. Now, I've used fancy stitch, but you could use whatever you want. Do it by hand, do it by machine, do it zigzag, it doesn't matter. Some nice fancy threads, some fancy fabrics. Okay, so we're sort of done. We just need to tidy up the ends, okay. So what I would be doing, all right, is chopping those ends off. My middle stitch isn't very middle, it's sort of a bit one way as opposed to the other. Could pull it out. There's lots of stitch in there, I'm not pulling it out. So mine's going to be a little bit odd. So what I will do is I will cut that off now and cut that off, and I will at the same time, in fact actually I'll probably stitch this on first. So there's my cream back ready to go. All right, and then what I will do is I'm going to turn that in this time. As I've said before, with these backings and things, there are no rights or wrongs, but what I think I do is I will turn that in and I will turn that in that side so that it all looks nice and pretty. Yeah, turn that over and put that in. Right, you could finish it off in any way you wanted. If you hadn't wrapped this around like I have, you could just, like we've done previously, machine all the way around and chop off. You could pinkish ears, says she, try to remember the name of it, all the way around. It's whatever you fancy. Okay, so there we have like a pleated. It's a variation, as I say, on one that I did before. You may well have seen this technique on cushions. It's quite nicely done for cushions. And you stitch one way and then you stitch back the other, and you stitch one way and you stitch back. And all these pleats start doing this lovely wavy thing. Okay, that's possibly a better example that you could see up close. But do as many layers and as many ups and downs as you want. And if you get really carried away, make a cushion. What the hell? Nice piece of backing fabric. Here you are, nice piece of calico. Put your strips on, machine strips on. All right, so they're all nicely next to each other, like this one's been done. Okay. All right, and then you machine one way and machine the other, dragging that fabric with you. But do pin it, and then that makes sure that it does what you want it to do. There we go. That's today's postcard. Pleatings. Or some such. I think that one needs a bit of something shiny down the centre of it. I'm going to put some beads on, I think, probably. Yeah, there we go. So, miserable day in Cornwall, but there we are. What have we done this week? We've had busy week. What have I been doing? I've been doing the next mystery quilt. So I've been busy jobbing things out. Look, nice fabrics, aren't they? I really love these. And I've done my old-fashioned method. Yeah. So I've drawn around my templates. I don't know if you can see that, and I've got all my lines there. I find it's the easiest way to get things accurate. I really do. And then I'll pin those in the corners, more pins, stretch it and on the line. But instead of hand stitching it, I just whop it through the sewing machine so that I get things done a little bit quicker. but I still benefit from old-fashioned accuracy. I've got a thing about that. I do like my old-fashioned accuracy. Look, I'm just going to do that really quickly. Take it away from you. It's one of the blocks. There's lots of them. Loads of different, and I just love the fabrics. So the next mystery quilt, I'm going to hopefully have that done and ready to run in September, or from September. Okay, so yeah, and really nice and fresh and light, and there will be kits available, or just patterns, totally up to you. And it would suit what I call my scrap and stash. That's what else are we doing? Yeah, that's the other thing today. Cut out a load of fabrics here earlier, all sorts of darks and loveliness, to do a background for one of the new designs that's going to go on Craftstore in July. 12th of July I'm on there again. Yeah, and so all these lovelies, that's, yeah, background and on top of. So I need a dark background, a striking background to show off what's going to go on top. So I've done that today, and I'd forgotten this batik. Look at that, isn't that just gorgeous? That red and pink, I love it. Totally forgot that. So yeah, so that's going to be my background in a bit for one of the new designs. That will be on, as I say, 12th July. It's all very busy, lots of things going on, loads of picture framing coming in, because it's that time of year and people have got their art exhibitions coming on, and we do a lot of picture framing, so I shall be cutting mounts and things later on for everybody, sorting that out. Is there anything else I'm doing? But yeah, do you know, it's just all the new designs for Craftstoretv. There'll be 6 new and 4 new kits, little kits, nice kits, different kits. We're going to have a theme. We're going to have a day of a theme. Probably dragonflies, because I love them, but it could be a few other things as well. We'll see. Right, 3 things to say. Bit of exercise, bit of tidying, and are all your friends okay? Are we all up and going and getting back to normal? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, that'd be lovely. Hopefully I'll see some of you later in the year at different shows. I'm only going to do a couple this year, but hopefully I'll see you at the shows. That would be good. Right, okay, so I'm just going to say be lovely.